Dick Grayson is Snyder's dead Robin. And a lot of people have their panties in a little twist. I've noticed on my timeline, a lot of people going back and forth. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys think about this? Yeah, Nerd Queens plus Meg. I mean, like I said, I guess she's part of the Nerd Queens. I mean, I know they have, Amazons. They're like part of the Amazons, right? Amazonians, right? Amazonians for Zach or whatever. So I guess you could say that they're all labeled under that. And I think they have a couple extra that do that podcast too. But yeah. Okay, so it definitely is old news. It definitely is old news, but the fact that it was brought up again and some people are, Snyder's Amazons. There you go. For you, it's okay, Nate. Yeah, see, his plans were for, he mentioned that he was going to have Carrie Killer. Are people pissed it's not Jason? Yes, people are mad that it's not because it's not going with the source material, which, you know how everybody always complains about, not the source material. Yeah. But it's like, when it comes to the movies, you have to change shit because you have like 70 plus years of shit that you're trying to cram in like 2.5 hour movies segments. It's way too hard. And we already know that Snyder wasn't trying to be like Kevin Feige. Snyder had a 5-part story arc that was basically Superman, but Batman was a big chunk of that. And we know that Batman was going to sacrifice himself. And, there's so many good points that you see, like, especially when I was going through the timeline, as I'm just like, I'm doing some work and then I just look at my timeline and I see people going back and forth about the whole dead Robin thing. And, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I mean, it does make sense in when it comes to the story, when it comes to Bruce just going down this dark path of Brandon motherfuckers and just going on this like killing spree, essentially losing his way, obviously losing Dick. Yeah, I know what it sounds like. Just obviously like losing Dick Grayson, like his buddy. I mean, somebody. I mean, yeah, he wasn't like what Sam said. He wasn't adapting Death in the Family, just like he wasn't adapting Dark Knight Returns. He wasn't adapting Superman, the Death of Superman. He was just taking little things, You take little things and you got to try to like create your own story. And I actually, I mean, as much as probably before, maybe when like the information first came out, I mean, obviously being a diehard Batman fan and diehard Batman fans out there, of course, want it to be true to the source material. You want it to be true to the source material, but at the same time, you really got to think about, okay, yeah, but he wanted to make a story where it was going to be Dick that died. I mean, and I think even like the same Mr. Anthony here also posted, let me see. Yeah. See, there's this image right here that of course came out a long time ago where we saw this guy, this came out right here too. I mean, we saw this right here, the tombstone that said Richard John Grayson right there. You see the tombstone. What does that say? August of 2000? Does it say 2000? I'm trying to think of like, does the date really say 2000? I don't know. It looks like it says 2000. So did he die in 2000? I mean, that's the thing right there. You see at the bottom right there, it looks like it does say 2000. So that would have been what, 15 years before? So that's what's interesting too, is like when did Robin exactly die? I mean, obviously we know that Jeff Johns fucked up the timeline for Suicide Squad and added that little caption when they're introducing Harley and it said she aided in the death of him. So that, I don't know. I mean, but it definitely looks like it does say August, like 20 something of 2000. So, I mean, we're talking about 15 years before BVS. That's what's interesting. That's the interesting part. So did it just start unraveling then? I don't know. See, these are the questions that that maybe Snyder will answer when it comes to Kal-El. Yes, no, maybe, your choice. What? Cool. I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you for the donation. Dick didn't become Nightwing. Yeah, for sure didn't. So 20 years in Gotham. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's all that. So it does make sense. But I think a lot of people were kind of thinking like, well, it had to be like recent. But then again, they're probably going by what happened, like what Suicide Squad shows that Harley Quinn aided in killing of Robin, which obviously he didn't. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I that would be one of the questions that I would want to ask Snyder during Justice Con is the whole Robin thing. Like, what's the story behind that? Yeah, exactly. He killed Jimmy Olsen too. Nobody's offended by that. I mean, like you have so many characters in these universes. I mean, same thing with the Marvel universe, same thing with the X-Men universe. You try to cram all that into movies, it's difficult. That's one of the hardest things that these writers have to do is they have so much. There's so much history, you know, the mythos of the universes. Yeah, he killed Superman. Yeah, he killed Superman in the second movie. I mean, there you go. So people really shouldn't complain, but they're always going to be complaining about all this stuff. That's the sad part. But I think if Snyder's gonna answer some questions, I kind of want to know like the timeline. Like, obviously the tombstone says 2000, so I want to know like, was there any intention of a flashback? Was there? Obviously, there was going to be some hints in Justice League, which that's going to be interesting to see. And I'm assuming it either has to do with the Commissioner Gordon part when he says, it's nice to see you playing with others again. And then, of course, when he's building up the team, and he's probably, you know what? I mean, he's probably going to look at Barry a little bit like that. Maybe there's going to be something with Barry that he, you know, because Barry's young, little inexperienced. So he might look at Barry and start having like, you know, a little bit of flashbacks to Dick. Yeah. To Richard. So it could have something to do with Barry. I don't know. So 10 years before Suicide Squad. So we need like a timeline. We need like a timeline of when some of this stuff takes place. So Zach said no one is safe. Anyone can. Yeah, exactly. And that's the way you have to be. That's really the way you have to be when you only have such a little amount of time to, you know, and that's the thing. It's like all these people like start hating on that. But it's like, I mean, look what the MCU, I mean, the biggest thing is like, look at the Mandarin when it came to Iron Man 3. I mean, that was a huge change over in the MCU. And I can imagine that would piss off some diehard Iron Man fans. I didn't necessarily give a shit. I thought it worked with the story. But yeah, you know, some people just you know, it's got to be the source material, nothing really. It's kind of dumb. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? People are always gonna complain. So I mean, yeah, if he died in 2000 and he's been 20 years in Gotham, yeah, I mean, I guess it could be that, or 94. Could be 94 too. I mean, when he says 20 years in Gotham, he could have just been like, you know, doing like an estimate. So it could have been like 93, 94 or something like that. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if, and I'm sure that he had it all mapped out. That's one of the things that I'd probably want to ask Snyder is, what's the timeline? When was Batfleck's Batman? When did he start? When did Robin officially die? Was it the year 2000? Which obviously it looks like that was the case when it says on the tombstone right there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yes, multiverses are based on quantum mechanics where you can be dead in one time. Exactly.